What's up, GP fam? This is Gary here at GP Performance and Tuning, and today we have a beautiful, beautiful Suzuki Gixxer 1000R on the dyno. I think this is a 2022-2023 model, and it's here because we are testing this new fuel that's coming out. It's called ETS. It's out of, where is this fuel from again?
Everything's manufactured in Europe.
Europe. So it's from Europe. It's European. But it is ETS Racing Fuels, and I have two different fuels here. I have the Evo. Let's see, this one here is the XS Evo, right? And then I also have over here the XPO 105. So supposedly the XPO 105 is the closest to MR12, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's the closest one to MR12, so we're going to definitely be trying that one, and then we're going to also be trying this Evo because I also heard good things about this Evo. So it's going to be an interesting video, and we're going to go ahead and do some baseline pulls with the Gixxer on pump, and then we're going to compare everything to see how much does this fuel actually give us at the end. So hopefully it's some good numbers. I'm looking forward to it, so should you. All right, guys, so let's see what happens. Alright guys, so we went ahead and we siphoned out all the fuel in it. As you can see, there's no more pump in it. Let's go ahead and start it up. You can see that the fuel light is blinking. And we got nothing, okay? So the bike completely has no fuel, no pump in there, and it's empty, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start off with this XPD 105. So there's the label. Now this is a 6.6 gallon jug, I guess you could call it, or drum. What was it?
Pail.
Pail, there you go, I like that. Yeah, there you go, pail. So it's a 6.6 gallon pail, 25 liters, and like Lance was telling me here, is that the reason why it's 6.6 gallons is because in Europe, they measure everything in liters, right?
Yeah, metric system is used throughout Europe, so because of that, they do 25 liters, which is 6.6 gallons.
Yeah, so 6.6 gallons. So it's a bigger pail, which I do actually like the pail because it's a pretty nice pail, guys. So it's a bigger pail, and about how much roughly is this right now? This pail for
retail?
Yeah.
I would have to look that up. I think that it's in the $250 range.
Yeah. So it's a little bit more than MR, but you're getting a little bit more fuel too out of it. So we're gonna see. We're gonna run it, and we're gonna see what kind of power we make. We're gonna go ahead and crack it open and start pouring it, and we'll see. Let's get to it.
The big thing is you have to look at your cost per gallon. So you're getting, 1.6 gallons more, upper 20s, upper 20% more. So price per gallon, not price per container, since you're getting more.
Yeah. So there you go. You're gonna get more out of this. So again, let's go ahead and put it into the bike, and we're gonna just run it to see. Their text said that this has to be tuned to about 13.2 AFR, right? Is that what we said? 13.2 AFR.
Yes.
Yeah, 13.2 AFR, and we're gonna play with that. We might go on to 12.8. We might lean it out a little. We'll see. And let's get to it. All right. Before I load this fuel up into the bike, I want to show you guys a little bit of what this bike or this fuel contains. All right. So here is their website. This is ETSRacingFuels.com. Okay. And this is the XPD 105. All right. So right here they got it marked at 209.88 cents for the 6.6 gallon, and if you want 14 gallons, it's 242.90. So $242.90 for that for the 14 gallons. Now this is a unleaded fuel, and it's a 98 octane and 7.7% oxygen, and an AFR stoic is 13.2. So it's a relatively high octane for US standards. I mean, again, remember pump is 93. and 98 is pretty good. So feel pretty safe on pushing this fuel a little bit with the ignition timing and all that. And then 7.7% oxygen, that's really good. I mean, I don't know what any of the other fuels are, but 7.7, I'll take that. So again, let's load this fuel in, let's pour it into the bike, and let's get to it, all right? So we went ahead and we cracked the can open, or the pail open, and I have to say, my first impressions, it does smell like VP MR12, so it has to be very similar. It has like that race smell, like that race fuel smell to it for sure. So it's interesting. So I just kind of want to give you guys an idea of what that smells like. And then here's the cap, you know, nice cap, believe it or not, and nice big opening there. So it's not an easy spout like the other cans are, but you know, we're gonna use a siphon, you know, one of the ones you shake and you pour into the bike. So we're gonna use one of those to get the fuel into the bike, and we'll go from there. All right, guys, so we're gonna go ahead. We got the fuel all poured in, and we're gonna go ahead and start it. Let's see what kind of start it gives us. Oh, normal. Normal. And let's take a look at AFR idling. Right on par with pump fuel, guys. Oh. We're gonna go ahead and let the bike warm up a little bit, and then we're gonna start doing some pulls without changing the tune. So this is just us straight putting the fuel into the bike and running it with like a pump tune on it. And then I'll look at it, we'll make some corrections and things like that to make sure that we're getting the best of it, and we'll compare them. So let's get to it. Alright, GP fam, so we went ahead and we did some pulls. We actually ended up making less. The bike ended up making 168, 169. Air fuel was pretty spot on, except for up here at the big end. On the big end, you can see it actually leaned out. So we're gonna go ahead and correct that. I'm gonna fix the fueling a little, and we'll see if we can get some more power out of this and get our power back in and some. That's what we're looking for. So let's see what happens. Guys, we just went and did 3 back-to-back pulls, and we got the power back. 181, 181, and 182. So we're right on line with pump as of right now. Maybe making a little bit more. So the red line is your pump, the blue line is the 105. Again, 180, 182. So we got a little bit more work to do. Let's get to it. Let's keep hashing it away and see if we can make more power. This stuff burns though. It burns the shit out of your eyes. So it's some strong stuff in there. So let's see what happens. All right, guys. So we finished tuning, all right, on the Gixxer. Again, we were running the XP. I keep on messing it up.
XPD 105.
XPD 105. Remember, guys, this is new to me too. Okay, but we just got finished tuning the XPD 105. All right, now this is not a fuel that you could throw in to your car, to your bike, and expect great results. You do have to tune for this, right? And you don't tune this like you would with other fuels. So on this specific fuel, 13.2 AFR is an actual correct AFR. We leaned it, or we richened it, saw no gains. We leaned it, saw very minimal gains, not really worth it. And at the end of the day, 13.2 was probably the best AFR to run. Now, here's the secret with this, guys. You can't add timing. Take ignition timing, throw it, whatever you have, go backwards. So don't advance, retard. That's the way you make this fuel work, and that's how you get it to make power, okay? So again, we started off with 180, and we got to 190, all right, with the fuel. You can see that, you know, the power curve looks great. Fueling was great. Again, you know, you got to pull timing out to make power on this fuel. And, you know, I was talking to Lance here, and I'll let Lance explain it kind of. Lance, pretty much the reason why it's making power with less timing is because it burns faster, right?
Correct, yeah. A lot of the denaturants and different stuff that we use in our fuel causes a much faster flash time.
Okay.
So when you start advancing your timing too much, you end up in a situation where the fuel is burning too soon as far as the piston's reaching top dead center.
Yeah. So there you go. Now, my thoughts on this one here is it's worth it. And here's the reason why I think it's worth it. MR12 usually sees about 10 to 11 horsepower over pump, right? We got that. 10 on this day. It's crappy here in Cleveland. It's cold and it's muggy and it's rainy and it's snowy and it's everything. So it's not a great day to be tuning. But you know, with the weather being and the climate being what it is, we gained 10 horsepower, guys. Number one, so that's good. And then not only that, we gained 10 horsepower with less ignition timing, which means it's a safer fuel. Now, MR12 is a 93 octane, where this is a 98, I think is what we said. Octane, right? Was it 98?
Yes.
Yeah, it was a 98 octane. All right. MR is like 8 point something. I got everything pulled up here. And oxygen, it's 8.73, where this is 7.7. So this fuel is less oxygenated, and yet it's still putting out great numbers. I mean, again, 10 horsepower with just fuel with less ignition timing. That's good, you know what I mean? And then pricing wise, when you break the pricing down per gallon, this stuff is cheaper too. Lance, do you still got the numbers pulled up on the pricing or what it was? It was like $31 per gallon.
When we looked at it, yeah, MR12 is pushing at their retail price on the website around $35 a gallon. Ours is coming in around 31, so comparable, but still cheaper. And the biggest thing is safer. And similar performance. Exactly.
So similar performance. It's cheaper. You get more of it in a damn can, which is nice. You know what I mean? If you're racing out there, you know, and wherever you are, you know, you want to carry as much fuel as you can of whatever fuel you're running. So it's a bigger can. It's safer. It's just as much power. And I mean, it really is a good fuel. I mean, it burns like burns for sure. But you know, we're in a closed room and we're running a bike, so it's a little tough to breathe in. But this fuel, this is pretty legit. I like it. You know, again, it got some pros to it, and I haven't seen any cons yet. One thing that I will also say, though, I guess the one con is, and again, this is not a con to the fuel, but I noticed that like running it in the bike idle, it shoots a high idle, and when you're kind of like accelerating and kind of like cruising, you know, the bike doesn't like it right now. But then again, it's not the fuel, it's a tuning. You know what I mean? Right now, we're not really tuning for that. We're not tuning for the drivability and for the idle and stuff like that. I'm sure that if I sit here and I tune for that and I either subtract fuel or add fuel, whatever it is, most likely subtract fuel, I could get the idle to act nice and I could get the bike to be tamed at cruisability. But it's something that has to take a little bit of work. But that's the same thing with MR12. Like, you know, MR12 takes work. You got to put in work to get the fuel to do what it needs to do. It's just like anything else. Once you add something, you got to work on it to make it to run optimally as it should. So fuel is no different. And yeah, so I think that if I was to take time and fix that, it wouldn't be an issue. So that's not really a con. It's just something that has to be done in the tune to iron that out. But again, pros, 10 horsepower increase. A lot less timing. So here, let's talk about timing real quick on this. So when we first started tuning, this bike was running at 4 degrees advance over stock with pump fuel. Okay. When we started tuning this and I threw the fuel in, the bike didn't pick up nothing. It was like it was worse. It was like 168, 169, and then, you know, the guys over at ETS said, this is not a fuel that you added at that time. You got to subtract it. So I did that. I listened to them. I subtracted timing, and as I kept on subtracting timing, we kept on getting the power back. And I am here. I'll show you guys so you guys believe me. So here it is. Ignition maps. All right, you can see where it's all. I'm trying to get my camera to work. Or you can see where it's all the timing is pulled. It's just pulled in wide open throttle. There's nothing. I ain't doing nothing over here. All right. And then if you go to value trim, you can see I'm 12.5 degrees out, guys. 12.5 degrees subtracted from stock. 16.5 from where the pump tune was at. So that, I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot of ignition timing that's pulled to make the power. And again, when you're running less ignition, higher octane, oxygenated, all that good stuff, and is making just as much power as some other stuff, and it's cheaper, I mean, hey, this is facts. You know what I mean? So, anyways, I like it. I like it so far. Now we're going to go ahead and drain this out, and we're going to go ahead and run the XS Evo, okay? And see how this does. What do you have to tell me about XS Evo? XS Evo.
I don't know.
I'm putting them on the spot, guys.
I guess you are. I don't know a ton that I would, as far as different. I know that the AFR we run is actually higher, right?
Yeah, it's leaner.
Yes, it runs leaner. As far as the makeup of it, that's kind of their secret sauce, and stuff that they don't like to share. So. Yeah,
for sure. So we're gonna go ahead and pull this fuel out, and while we're doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the Evo data sheet and see what that contains, and see what the makeup is of that, and then we're gonna run it, and then I'm gonna go back to a stock tune. So I did save the original stock tune. I'm gonna load that back up onto the bike. And save this tune because, I mean, this is pretty cool. But so load the stock tune back up, put the Evo stuff into it, and run that and see how it does as a drop-in fuel, and then go from there. All right, guys, so let's keep on hashing it out. This is going to be a long video. The XS Evo is in the bike. We loaded about a gallon or so into it. Now, I want to talk about some of the specifications to it. So here it is. As you guys can see, this is off of ETS's website. All right, it's a 94.5 octane with 3.7% oxygen, and 13.6 is the target AFR for Stoic. So you can see that it's not as oxygenated, and it's not as high octane as the XPD. Did I say that right? Again, the 105. We gotta come up with better names on this. But as a 105, I want to refer to it as a 105. So it's not as high octane, and it's not as oxygenated as the 105. But we're gonna see how it does. You know, they say this is also a heavy contender. and we're gonna find out. I can tell you that it definitely has a different smell to it compared to the 105. This smell is more like I don't know, like paint stripper or something like that, more chemically. So we're like the 105 smell like race fuel. So I don't know. All right, let's get to it, guys. So I went ahead and started the bike up. The bike sounds just like regular fuel. Like the idle sounds good. I haven't did any pulls yet or anything like that, so I don't know how the cruisability is. But on the idle, it sounds just like pump fuel. So let's go ahead and set it up and let's get some pulls in. Alright guys, so that was pretty impressive. That was pretty impressive as a drop-in fuel, right? Turn everything off over here. As a drop-in fuel, right? Again, we took the stock original, or it ain't the stock original, but the original tune that was on here. We reloaded it back up, and then we just dumped this fuel in and just ran it. We didn't make no changes to fueling or anything like that. And as you can see, the bike did 188, guys. 188.4. And then if you was to compare that to the original pool, you can see that right around 9,000 RPM, it looks like, is when this bike, when that fuel kind of takes over. And then up top, it just made power. Just made power, guys. 180 to 188. I mean, that's pretty impressive for just being a drop-in fuel. Again, didn't change anything to the air fuel. Now the air fuel could be worked on. We could definitely hash that out a little. Keep on looking at this real quick. Yeah, you can see that the air fuel, it leans out over here at the big end. So we'll work on that and we'll try to level this out a little. But as a drop-in fuel, guys, like that did good. That did good. So I don't know. I'll be thoroughly impressed if we make another 10 on this too, for less.
Be close in the upper 190s. But
yeah.
Even just getting into the mid 190s would be great.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see. We want to keep on hashing it. Let's go. right, guys, so wow, I fixed the fueling. I targeted what they wanted me to, which was 13.6. Oh, I'm sorry, 13. Well, at first it was 13.2. Now we're at 13.6. Yeah, 13.6. Yeah, 13.6 for this. All right, you got me confused for a moment. So we target 13.6. All right, and now this could be a drop-in fuel. This right here can be a drop-in fuel. You don't necessarily have to tune for it. I would still suggest tuning, but you don't have to. And I mean, again, let me pull up these two numbers. And I haven't done anything with ignition time either right now. It's at 4 degrees right now, advanced. And if you look, guys, we picked up power. We're up 10 horsepower. 180 to 190, 82 foot-pounds to 84 foot-pounds. 84.8 to almost 85. And with minimal work. I mean, I just threw this fuel in and I got 10 horsepower off rip. Or I threw this fuel in and we got 7, right? It was 7. And then I corrected the fuel and now we're at 10 horsepower. So this is making 105 look bad, guys. But I think the 105 did better. It was more consistent down low. So like if you look here, you can see that like we're real close to the red. The blue's real close to the red. And then up here is when you really make the money. You kind of really expand up there. But yeah, it's amazing right now. That's actually really good. So fueling's pretty much on spot right now. Here, I'll show you guys fueling too, so you guys could see that on that last pull. So that's 13. The dotted line is 13.6. And we're right on the line, except for the big end. I'm not really too worried about the big end. I mean, the small end right there. I'll have to hash that out. But I really care about the big end, the top end. And air fuel is pretty much right on par with what they say to do. So I'm going to go ahead and leave air fuel where it's at and play with ignition timing. I'm going to go back to stock first to just whatever stock timing is. Maybe we'll pick up power with the stock ignition timing, and then that will truly be a drop-in fuel if we pick up power. So let's keep on hashing and see what we can get out of it. All right, guys, so we went ahead and dialed everything in. I added 2 degrees, I took away timing, I added timing, I did all this stuff, and this is the best number we got so far, all right, on the XS Evo. We got 191.6 and 85.3 foot-pounds of torque, guys. And I mean, this fuel took minimal effort, and it was just a good fuel. And like, here you go, you can see the pump fuel compared to this. I mean, look at that right here, up at, let's say right around here. The bike went from 179 to 191.6. Like, that's peak. That was right there, the peak power. But that's impressive, guys. I mean, yeah, that's what, 12 horsepower, give or take? Yeah, 12 horsepower. So fuel did really good. You can see we close up a little bit here. But again, that's not really a tuning issue, but you know, it closed up a little bit there. But again, the fuel picked up power across the whole board. Here at 10,000 RPM, we went from 153 to 160. At 8,000 RPM, we went from 118 to 123. So little bumps here and there. And that's what you kind of expect out of a fuel. You know, some fuels give you massive amounts of power, some don't. I think both of these fuels did good. Now this one is a lower octane fuel, So you can't really push it like the 105. The 105, you know, we did the opposite. We took ignition timing away and picked up power. Where this, like, you know, we threw 4 degrees. I went up to high as 6. I didn't want to push it that much, but high as 6 degrees, we saw no gain, so there was no point in it. 4 degrees was about the sweet spot for it, and then that 13.6 AFR is a good target. Now you could run this. We did run it at 13.2, and we did see good results. It was like a 7-8 horsepower increase off over that. But you know, if you dial it in, you could pick up more up top, and that's really what it's all about. So both the fuels did good. I was thoroughly impressed with it. Now here's the good stuff about this, guys. As you guys know, the MR, you have to go ahead, and once you run it, you have to get it out your bike. You got to drain it. You got to clean it out of your system because it turns into gunk and all this other stuff. Where this stuff, you won't have that issue, guys. So we've been running this bike all day on these fuels. Another thing that you usually see is that with MR, you get the white powder or whatever on the exhaust. This one, guys, you don't get anything. I mean, look, see, yeah, look, nothing. It's completely normal, just regular exhaust. And not even that, this is probably just from running pump fuel. But there's no white on the exhaust. There's no white on the tip, which is nice compared to, you know, like the MR stuff where like it's gonna screw up your carbon and things like that. This won't do that, and you can leave it in the bike for, I don't know, forever. You know what I mean? And then the other cool thing is that you don't have to worry about storage either, right? So these cans, I don't know if this one's loose right now. This is probably not loose. This is tight. Oh yes, it is. But these cans, which is nice, they seal up. They got a rubber seal. So once you close this, it's sealed, and as long as you keep it in a spot where it's not, you know, getting sunlight and it's in a temperature control, it's not freezing or boiling, stuff like that, that fuel should last you a good amount of time, guys. So I'm impressed. My final verdict on it is I think I will be running this, guys. I think that I will be running this over the MR12. I keep on dropping my thing. I keep on running this over my MR12. It's cheaper and it's cleaner. It makes just as much power, if not more in some situations, but it makes just as much power, and it's better for the engine. So I like it, guys. I really do like it. So I want to give a shout out to ETS for providing the fuel for today's test. I want to thank Lance. Lance came all the way from Wisconsin, right, to go ahead and join us here and do these runs. And then again, here it is, guys. So ETS Racing Fuels, we are working to become a dealer for them. So hopefully we can hash that out and actually start carrying this stuff here in the Cleveland area. Where if you guys want this, you get to come here, buy it from us, and all that cool stuff. I'm going to stand behind it because after running it, and again, I've been tuning for a long time. I've been tuning VP fuels and E85 and Renegade and all these other fuels. I really like this one. I don't know why, but I really like ETS. I think it's a great fuel company. I think that it's great racing fuels, and for what you get, you really can't beat it, guys. So again, thank you, ETS. Thank you, Lance, for coming and taking the drive over here and bringing me the fuel. And, you know, this is not going to be the last time you guys are going to see this, all right? All right, guys. Peace out, GP fam.